Hey y'all, how is everybody doing today? I am so happy to have you here for this fifth installment of Just Jody Plus One, the podcast where authors sit down and just chit chat about our lives and world. Today, I am interviewing Rita Slanina, and I will get her to correct me if I've said that incorrectly. I should have asked her that earlier. Y'all know me. Y'all know I can't say names. So I'm super excited. I've read her book. Actually, I've read two of her books. Harbor Excursion. It's book one of three. I'm waiting on book two. And I've also read her singer-songwriter intro book. And it's really good for people who want to learn more about theory and about songwriting. I had a great time reading that. So with no further ado, let me bring in Miss Rita Ann. Hello. How
Hello.
bad did I murder it?
Ah, it was
Pretty bad.
halfway there. You're halfway there.
Slanina?
Slanina. So it's
Slanina.
phonetic as well as whatever the other option would be.
Okay. Rita Ann Slanina. I got it now. Well, welcome, welcome. I
Thank
am
you for
very
having me.
excited that you are here. I'm just going to give you a few minutes if you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll dive into the questions.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Rita Slanina. I am an actress and author, and I do lifestyle content because it's just fun. I'm married. I have a dog and 6 chickens whom love to harass me every day.
Okay. Yes. Bruno needs his own
He
Instagram
does.
page. I believe.
I think
I
if
love
he had his own channel and social media, he'd blow up. Like
Yeah.
he'd go
Loving the
for all of
Bruno.
us. Yeah.
Yes. I'm loving the Bruno. Well, my first question is about creative fusion. Your work spans songwriting, journaling, novella writing, books, health and fitness. How do you see these different creative outlets intersecting or influencing one another in your work?
That's a great question. I think as separate as they can all seem on the surface,
Mhm.
without the fitness and the health aspect, I don't have my mind right. Without the release of novella writing with fiction or even songwriting, I can't have a nice outlet. Without um, notebook and journaling, I can't keep it clear. So they all tend to intersect in a way where it works with my lifestyle and all the things that I do.
Okay. All right. Well, with your living in we just mentioned Bruno. Do
Yeah.
you think that your Southwest location with your hubby and Bruno and all your chickens, does the landscape or the local culture shape your creativity? And could you share maybe a moment if it does, where it
I would
did?
say yes, it does. I've been in LA and New York and done all the things, and I still visit those places, but or work in those places from time to time. But in the Southwest region, which is okay, this is the fun part about this. So we're not in a desert region, we're in a mountainous area. And so we get the 4 seasons.
Okay.
And that I really like because they're not super like we don't get so much snow that you've got to bury yourself out of your home or dig
Yeah.
yourself out rather. And it's not so hot like in Phoenix where you are just, sweltering or melting. So I would say we get to go out and you get to free your mind and you get to go and be active outdoors and do things that you couldn't necessarily do in the
Mhm.
heart of the cities, which every area to me, I always like to relate to a nomad because I feel like I can live anywhere.
Yeah.
No, like I have no qualms about living pretty much anywhere. I can make
Mhm.
it work. And I try to find the joy in everywhere I've ever lived that does 100% influence how I maybe my routine changes, maybe it's we do more of this instead of that. It's just, we
Mhm.
acclimate and make it work, and it influences it, I would say, to some degree, for sure.
Okay. Now, your first project, I Write to Be Free,
Mhm.
Poetry and Lyrics.
Ooh, we're going
Mark,
way
were
back,
we
machine.
I'm going back, girl. Girl,
I'm
I
have to study
research.
my own work.
Mama Jody does her
I
research.
love it. All right, girl, get me.
All right. Was the beginning of your independent journey. In
Yes.
what way has your voice evolved since then? And how does that evolution appear across your varied publications?
I feel that that first project was really more of an inward, I don't want to say selfish or me, but it kind of felt more like that. Like
Mm,
uh juvenile in its the way it was done. Because I've reread that actually, which is funny. Um that you bring this up. This is so funny. The way I write now is more, am I just experiencing this or are others experiencing this as well? So it's not just about, hey, here's me, here's my experience. Yeah, when you write music, you obviously have to work inward and work from your experiences to some level. But
mhm,
I found that I have grown from just, well, here's me and here's my story. It's
mhm.
actually expanded to more like, but can I help you in your journey? And have you been here with the stories?
I like that. I like that. That kind of leads me to this musical moment question. Since you said that, how do you capture your ephemeral moments of musical inspiration? And can you share an instance when a spontaneous melody changed the direction of your work?
Sometimes you can be in the shower and the melody hits you, and you have to literally jump out of the shower and find a pen.
Mhm,
Which can 100% change the trajectory of something that's going on. The Hubs and I are working on a rock and roll music project, which is not my genre of music generally,
uh-huh.
but
Yeah.
he loves it. So we're going to do like a whole series set of cover songs,
Mhm,
of the rock and roll genre of his choosing. He's like, I
mhm,
would just love if you'd sing these. So I'm not typically or necessarily writing anything on this, but I will be working in second quarter. I'll be working on a Christmas album. Finally, the full length Christmas album, and there will be a
yay!
lot of original songs on there. So
Okay.
I have a feeling, because we're working on this project, it's going to influence the writing in some level.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes, but it can 100% change. Yeah, you could
Maybe.
just be randomly, I could be sitting here with you and go, and it starts to hit. Like, you just don't know. You never know.
You'll be like, take five, take five.
Yeah. I was working on a song last year, and it was going a certain way. And I remember sitting in the studio and going, I want to rework. I had to literally, I scrapped the whole thing because something just popped in my head in the middle of it while writing, going, this
Mhm,
isn't even flowing the way I wanted it to. And just all of a sudden, whoosh, and it reversed course. I scrapped the whole thing and, like, I mean, it's the same song, but I started over
mhm,
essentially. So you
mhm.
just never know.
Have you ever done that with a book where you've had to scrap it and re-go?
I would say when I was working on the travel journals, yes.
Okay.
Because when I was working on the travel journals, I wanted it to be something you could carry with you. Like if you're traveling out of the country somewhere and you want to jot stuff down. I did do that because I wanted to add, like, well, what if you're a fan of coffee shops? Well, I had
Mhm.
nothing in there for that. Instead of a wine drinker, you're a coffee drinker, or
Yeah.
you just prefer, or maybe you want to see all the hiking or things like that, the outdoorsy things. So I wanted to add things in there that would kind of get everyone excited about a
Mhm.
travel journal.
Okay. Um, having read Harbor Excursions Book 1, Could you share what personal experiences or emotions inspired the journey in that novella series? And when can Tracy Beta read book 2?
Oh, I might be able to get you on that pretty quick, actually, Miss Tracy.
Yes.
Um,
You know it's serious when I use my real name and not my author name.
I know, I know. So I will talk to you about that after we're done here for sure.
Okay.
Okay. This is gonna be a disappointing answer. I would say no real personal experience
No real
was
person.
happening in the writing of this book
Okay.
series. I literally just had this idea in my head, and I wanted some characters we could follow along and get connected to,
Mhm.
and make their life crazy.
Yeah. I love Miranda.
Me too.
I love that girl and Josie.
Oh my gosh, she's a nut.
Everybody needs a Josie.
If you don't if you don't know who the Josie is in your life is, you need to find her
My
because
best I know like I'm sitting there going, That's Audra right there.
yeah, I
Audra
was
would
gonna
do
that's
that.
Susan. That's my
That's
this
Audra."
is my
Yeah.
Josie.
Like, that's my best friend. There she is. Do you have any pre-writing or pre-performance rituals that help you tap into your creative flow, and how did you develop those?
I would say yes. I'm an early morning writer.
Mhm,
And I can have no distractions. And as much as I love being in streams and everything, the thing about me is I have to isolate the focus because I'm a chatterbox.
mhm,
So I love to talk. I love to engage. I love to have, hang out with my friends. I love to do all that. So when it comes to writing, it's it's almost like I climb into a little hole and
okay,
everyone wonders like what happened, where'd she go? And
mhm,
you'll notice that, and this will happen in the second quarter when I go into the studio to write this album, because there's just I can't split the difference between my attention.
mhm,
So a pre-writing ritual would be 3-4 in the morning.
mhm,
Everything's dark. I might have a candle, I might have this little light here on, but it's just a glow light. It's not like the full lighting of the room is on.
right,
And I open the laptop and I go.
mhm,
And I just maybe refer to notes or what have you and just keep writing. And I'll write, it depends. If the flow is there, I can go for 4 hours.
mhm,
If the flow is not there, I may sit there an hour. So that is actually just in relation to like
mhm.
how the mojo's flowing.
How about when you are performing, when you're before you get up to, sing and that way?
More involved with that. So there's a lot more involved with that. So there's always a pre-rehearsal before performance.
Mhm,
There's no coffee that day.
yep,
There's no caffeine of any kind. Actually, there's no milk. There's no eggs. Anything that could cause like a phlegm
right,
or a dryness. So
right,
the extremes of two. And then there's always tea with lemon or honey and lots of water. And
yep.
I will toggle in between those. Cough drops are a big one. And then there's quiet time. So I do this with my husband. I'll go, oh, look, my things are on. I'll do this with my husband.
Mhm,
He's like,
yeah,
vocal rest. I'm like,
mhm.
he's like, but I prefer it.
I love that. We
Yeah,
we do we have a lot in common. I was a singer-songwriter, in my earlier years. I did the Nashville fun stuff, looking for you know, that deal. And, had some really fun times. I mean, I got to do some fun things.
right.
So I think I get a lot of, what you're saying, because I remember, like, it was so long ago though, that I'm just like, "Oh yeah, I did used to do that."
And the incessant ear training.
Yeah.
Incessant. Like If there's one thing I could tell anyone who wants to sing, even if you just want to sing for just no reason, right?
Mhm.
Or, you're not really trying to put out albums or anything like that.
Mhm.
Ear training. And that is just sitting at the keyboard or the keys, the piano, and just hitting the sounds of each note along
Mhm.
whatever, 88 keys if you can, but not most of us can do
Mhm.
that, but you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just
Mhm.
matching your voice to the sound you're hearing
Mhm.
over and over and over and over. I am
Yeah.
curious. I would love to hear some of your stuff, young lady.
It
Do you
was
have anything we can hear?
um, I don't have anything recorded, anymore. Um, we've went through several moves and I finally was just like, "Pfft." But, I really had fun. There was one that was really dark and I loved it and I still love it and I can still hear it. And I love singing that song and I ended it kind of off canter. And I was just like, that's probably always going to be my favorite.
I love that.
Probably because I was going through it. I was going
Mhm.
through it.
Isn't it
And
funny how we tend to write the most when we're going through it?
oh my God. During my divorce from my youngest, his dad, oh my god, I wrote some of the best music,
Yeah,
it was really good, and I'm like, "I'd much rather be in this era of happiness and my little farm and my sweet husband, Dan."
yeah. I will say it's harder to write when you're happy.
Yes, it
I
is, it really is, it's so much harder.
I know, and some of your audience will go, "Oh, that's sad. You gotta be sad to write."
Mhm,
Yeah, it's the plight of the
it
musician.
is,
It
it
really
is.
is.
It's really hard, like, with creators, I find that with my writing, like, when I'm writing team of 8 and all that kind of stuff. And is it the same for you? I guess is my next question. But I find that I can just get lost in the story. It's fantasy, it's
Yeah,
make believe, it's fun, and I love it. And it's not that intense. I don't want to say soul suck because I don't want to discourage anybody from
right,
songwriting,
right.
but soul suck that
Soul wrenching.
songwriting can be. Huh?
It can be soul wrenching.
Soul wrenching, there we go.
Yeah, because it's just, and yeah, we don't wanna discourage anyone who's interested in
No,
songwriting, which is why I wrote this
exactly.
to
I
give.
loved that book. Thank you so much for that book.
Thank
It
you,
just
you're
kind of
welcome.
reignited my love for what I used to do, and I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna see how I can incorporate this into what I'm doing now," and it was really it meant a lot. It meant a lot, and I was gonna tell you that off camera
Ah,
because 'cause I'm getting
I'm
all
so glad.
teary-eyed, but it was so cool to, like, have something you could tell it was somebody the person who wrote the book cared that you found
Yeah.
the way to convey and to understand music,
Oh,
and
thank
I
you.
loved that.
Oh,
Loved
thank
it.
you. That's what I
You're welcome.
wanted.
Good. Well,
It's
you
what I
did it,
wanted
girl.
to come across because, and I'll tell you, I have read some of the books out there for
Yeah.
songwriting, and they're
Mhm.
very discouraging. There's nothing in a lot of them that, if, and this is coming from someone who has awareness and the
Mm.
backgrounds, right,
Yeah.
for songwriting, and I'm reading these pretending I'm someone who isn't, and I'm going,
Mhm.
these are awful. These are
Yeah.
too big, first of all. I mean,
Yeah.
most of them are like so thick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I want to learn music, not sit and read a book for 3 months. Like, what?
Mhm. It's
No one
like,
should read that. I
yeah,
don't know.
it was
No one
almost
should.
like I told my husband, Dan, I said, "This book is like cliff notes for
Yes,
how to make music and how to make yourself happy while you're doing it, and how to
exactly.
feel educated." I
Yeah,
loved it.
simplify
It was
it.
it was
Just
so
keep
great.
it simple. Like, keep it
Yeah.
simple. Like, that was the
Mhm.
whole thing because I was looking
Mhm.
at those other books. They're overcomplicated. I'm
Mhm.
like, this is for a beginner?
Yeah.
No. Like,
I
just
know.
break it down. Like, make it
Yeah.
choppable. cool. A person who
Mhm.
wants to learn music who doesn't know music, and correct me if I'm wrong, any of you out there who are beginners or, I
Mhm.
mean, I know for me, with experience, get me to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Stop wasting my time.
Yeah.
Do you or don't you want to just get in there and learn your instrument or learn the craft of songwriting?
Yeah.
Just get to the point
Yeah.
because you want to just sit down and do it. I just yeah. I'm sorry. I just like
I know.
I'll get off my
I
soapbox because it just
It's
drove me
okay. It's my
nuts.
soapbox too.
Yeah. I was just going, nobody wants to sit here and read a songwriting book for forever and go, okay,
Mhm.
well, now I still don't know what to write because I don't remember what I read. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, well, it took me 20 days to read that book. Does anybody remember what the first chapter said?
yeah, yeah. And I have this is crazy because I have a really good memory. I have a very good memory. I can remember stuff, but I'm not going to remember a book I read in 20 days on what step one was,
Mhm.
20 days ago. It's just not
Yeah.
going to happen.
Mhm.
I'm going to have to go back and then it's just going to tick me off. And I just,
Yeah. It's just gonna just be yeah, just be just like we said, discouraging. Yeah, and your
right.
book definitely does not discourage. I do
Thank
have,
you.
a collaboration question, collaboration dynamics.
Okay.
So you have worn many hats in the
Mhm.
creative industry. How do you collaborate with other artists or professionals and shape your work? And do you have a memorable collab experience?
Yes. So I would say my memorable collab experience was with Sayari, the kid,
Mhm,
um, in Atlanta.
mhm.
And we collabed on a song. I wrote the hook, he did the rap. And I would say when you're going into a collaboration, because I've worked with people who are
I
horrible.
listened to it and it's fabulous, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. The song's called Desire, by the
Yeah.
way.
Mhm,
And we even filmed the video in Atlanta, and the overall experience was fabulous. When you're working with professionals who are about the work and the craft, you're going to see that come through
mm,
when in the end product generally. So it was a great experience. So when you're going into collab, I would say be confident in what your abilities are. It's okay to say like I'm not a good rapper. Now, I will say on the album I pulled the trigger. I attempted some rap and it's horrible. But but that was an experimental album and I'm
right.
okay with experimenting and being like, "Meh, what are you going to do?"
Mhm,
But that's not my forte. My forte is R&B and soul music, right?
mhm,
So I go in, we get the beat from the producer and I'm sitting there going, okay, we're just chatting it up, like how do we want to work this song, what vibe are
mhm,
you thinking, and we talk about the vibe the producer has for like that beat or whatever, and those the musician side of it, and then we go, okay, well, this is the topic. We go to the topic. Now we have a topic. Now we're going to go into, okay, so if this is my topic, and the desire is about a push and pull in a relationship,
yeah,
right?
mhm,
He's just off doing his thing, just working. And she's just like, but I need you and I'm lonely and whatever. So you work together while working separately, which is so much like gymnastics competitions. It's so funny to me, but totally unrelated. Sorry,
yeah,
sidebar jump. But, it's like you have your independent things and you're working together to bring them into this one big product that's ultimately comes out beautiful if
yeah.
everyone has an open mind and is collaborative and no ego. You got to set ego aside. You can't just be like, well, no, you can't have, and be willing to try things, like
Mhm,
you got to be amenable and workable.
okay. You're, as a public figure and creative artist, how do you handle criticism and how has feedback shaped your work over the years? I
Uh,
love
I,
that grin.
I handle criticism with like everyone's got an opinion just like everyone has.
Yep. Mhm. Yes,
So,
ma'am.
I would say I learned this. I think this is a skill
Mhm.
Um, I think tough skin is a skill that you build like a muscle, I guess you could say. I don't know
Yeah.
if any of that makes sense, but I think you know where I'm going
Mhm.
with this. And I learned this in high school. So there will always be people better than you, and there will always be people not as good as you. Um, we're striving to do the best we can all the time. You
Mhm.
know, there's a bob and weave and all that. It's okay. It's fine. We're always going to be a work in progress. It's never going to be, you know.
Right.
And I remember in high school, I had a girlfriend that was I was in newspaper and cheer, and we did all these things. And one of my girlfriends on yearbook goes, so and so is trying to post a picture in the yearbook and you got pit stains. Do you want to keep it in there? Because I will fix this, you know?
Yeah.
So basically, the message was, oh, they were going to put me in there, but they're trying to shade, right?
Right.
And make me look bad. And I'm like, I could care less either way. But it was nice to know someone had my back. So I would say
Yeah.
giving feedback's great that you know you have someone has your back. And
Mhm.
then you kind of know who your friends aren't. But
Yeah.
but that has carried through to adulthood where you're just kind of like, okay, you criticize me. What'd you bring to the table?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I grain of salt, grain of salt.
Yeah. I had a friend one time that was being, kind of talked down to at, about you're not a real rap artist because of a certain genre of music that they had kinda went toward,
Mhm.
and it was one of those moments where, you think something in your head, but it comes out your mouth, and especially with me, because 'cause I'm a country girl and, filters have never been my thing, and I was
Nor my
like, "Oh,
husband's.
I'm sorry. Who died and made you rap fairy?" And then I went, "Hang on, I imagined it. You have a little wand, you're not a rap artist. You're a rapper." And then it's like my friend is like, "You have to stop putting whiskey in your coffee." Like, "Did I say that out loud?" Like, yes. And it's like
Absolutely.
on a radio show. And I'm like, well, it is what it is, but it shut
Yeah,
them up, it shut them
it
down
did.
because it made them think. I don't mind somebody coming at me with any kind of feedback, even if
I
it's,
was just gonna say
negative,
that.
as long as it's been critically thought out
Correct.
and it is
Constructive.
constructive. Yeah, that's
I'm
all I
always
care
open
about.
to constructive criticism, feedback,
Yeah.
all that, I'm down. Like, you've thought
Yeah.
it out, like you're saying, well thought out, critical
Mhm.
thinking, yada, yada, yada. But if
Mhm.
it's just a straight up mean comment or
Yeah.
you're
And
attacking me,
that's what that comment was. It was just a straight up mean, yeah,
yeah.
comment.
It's
And I'm
usually
like,
coming you know what the best way to think about that is, for those of you who struggle to kinda let those kind of things
yeah,
go,
mhm,
is they're not happy. The person who's
right,
giving you this just nonsensical feedback, which is it's not feedback, it's just cruel, really.
mhm,
They're just being mean, they're being a troll, all the buzzwords you could think of that would describe this type of person. They're not happy, and they're
mhm,
attacking you and moving outward because they don't wanna look inward, and, I would yeah, not everyone's religious, but I would say pray for them because, they need
yeah,
they're sad inside.
yeah,
So I don't take
exactly,
any of that to heart. Any
yeah,
any criticism like that, don't care.
yeah,
Keep it moving.
yeah,
I don't even respond to them. Like if they're on
yeah,
on social media, you won't
mhm.
even get a response from me. Generally, it's more like, I don't know. I just
If
mute you or
Yeah, if
shut
something's
you
directed
down.
toward me, I'm like that too. I'm like, I don't care. It's when somebody goes after one of my friends that I've noticed that I like my mama bear comes
Mama bear.
out. Yeah, and I'm like, it's like that's why it says, if she ever looks down and goes, let me tell you something. I'm like, don't run, because if she has to catch you, she's only gonna be madder.
Right? Right?
Exactly, yes.
Better run.
Better hope don't if she has to catch you on top of telling you off, oh, it's
Yeah,
over for you.
yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about journaling.
Okay.
So you have crafted journals for music, poetry, and health and fitness.
Mhm.
What role does journaling play in your creative process and personal growth?
Ooh, huge. It plays a huge role in my process, my planning, um, all the things, because to me, songs are poetry, poetry or songs. So those are interchangeable. I think that's a fairly obvious. I don't, maybe someone disagrees with that, possibly. I don't know. But that's how
Mhm.
I typically see that. Um, if your brain is clogged up with whatever, journaling's a good way to get that out. Health and fitness journaling, that's a good way to help me stay organized. What did I lift last week? How far did I run that one time? How,
Mhm.
if you don't write it down, you can't measure it. And if you can't measure it, you can't see your progress. You can't see where you
Right.
started. You can't see where you're going. You don't know where you
Right.
are. And that just will create a lot of conflict and confusion
Mhm.
for you in your life and your daily routine. So I'm very dependent on journaling.
Well, we are winding down. I have 2 questions left.
Okay.
The next to last would be, without giving too much away, can you hint at any upcoming projects or experiments that you are particularly excited about?
Okay, let's see. Well, gosh, there's quite a few things I'm kind of working on. I don't know where to start. We kind of touched on a couple of them. So
Yeah.
the Hubs and I are working on a fun rock and roll project. We're going to do video, and I think we'll put that out like in succession. I haven't decided if I want to do it on my channel or
Mhm.
start a new channel for that specifically. But it is music related, and that'll be really fun. I've not done rock and roll. Book 2 for Harbor Excursions is coming out.
Yay!
That's coming out.
Yay.
The recording of the full Christmas album begins in the second quarter. I figured I'd give myself plenty of time to work on that.
That's exciting. That's
Uh,
very
and
exciting.
have a lifestyle photo shoot coming this year to update all the photos and all the things. And
Fun.
it's going to be a fun theme. It's going to
Is
be
is is Dorothy and Bruno gonna make the lifestyle shots?
no, because the plan is to shoot at a castle.
Ooh, fun.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay. I'm excited. That's so exciting.
Yeah, it'll be really fun.
Alright. Alright, last question. It's the
Okay.
one I normally always close with, so you probably already know what it is. If you could go back in time, what advice would you give your younger creative self when you were just starting out?
Huh. Plan better. Best advice I would give is plan better, be less distracted. Um, don't veer off course. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I veered off course to Ireland fall I always tell yeah, never follow a boy in a band with blue eyes. Just don't do it.
Yeah, my distractions included boys too. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's like
yeah.
yeah, yeah, just
I mean, I did a
just
lot of fun things and
oh,
a lot of
yeah.
them worked,
Yeah.
but I mean, on social
Mhm.
media way, 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 way
Yeah,
back. But
yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
I
Gotta
would
let
have
those you gotta let those blue-eyed boys go, no matter how good they can sing.
yeah. Yep. They're
Um,
crooning. You're like, "Ooh, huh? What? I'm sorry.
hi.
Oh, did I have goals and dreams? No, no, I've
No,
got nowhere to be."
Rita, this has been an absolute blast.
Yes, it
I have
has.
loved this. Do you wanna tell everybody, like, your brain fog? It's like, I'm still on chemo pills. My brain doesn't fully function. You wanna give everybody, like, your website yeah, that's the word, and all that kinda stuff, how to find you, and then if you'll email it to me, I'll add it to the description,
Okay.
when I post this.
Perfect. Okay,
Okay.
yes. So you can find me at ritaslanina.com. All my socials match Rita Slanina, all the places. And we are going to be doing armchair chats this March, right? This is March.
Yes.
We'll be doing it every Sunday in March for season 2. So that'll be fun. That's exciting. That's coming up. And you can find that on youtube.com/Rita Slanina.
Yay! Awesome, awesome.
Oh, thank you for
Well
having me. This is so fun.
oh, I am so glad you had a good time. That's the only I just want my guests to walk away from this having a blast. I just want it to be a fun thing. A
Yeah.
fun thing in life.
You want the
Yeah.
balloons and the confetti. Hold on. I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
all that
There
fun
it goes.
stuff. Oh, there it goes. I love how you have all these emoji cons. I'm like, "I gotta learn how to do that." Oh,
It's on that
okay, guys.
Apple Mac
Huh?
Apple thing. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
You
Oh,
don't have to make
okay.
faces. It's just something I
Mm.
can't stop
Oh.
doing.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I am just blessed as I can be to have had Rita on. And I just want to say thank you for her to come on today and just be so open and honest and had such a great time. But you, my friends, you know what I'm going to say before I say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. I may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm a particular group of people's double shot of whiskey. And I'm so happy and I'm so proud that you come and hang out with me and that you find me just right. We love you. Bye.